Hey, I'm Erica, and I want to talk to you about something that nobody really tells you about relationship patterns. For years, all we've heard was you're either anxiously attached or avoidantly attached. And if you're lucky, you're secure. But here's the truth, your nervous system is way more nuanced than that. And if you've been stuck repeating the same relationship patterns over and over, even though you know better, it's because you're running an old nervous system program that you probably don't even see clearly yet. So today, I'm breaking down the 6 nervous system relationship types, the actual programs your body is running that keep you stuck in the same cycles. By the end of this video, you're going to see yourself clearly, maybe even for the first time. And I want to show you how to start rewiring these patterns, not just understanding them intellectually, but actually changing them at the nervous system level. Here's what we're covering: the 6 types, and I promise you'll recognize yourself in at least one. Why these patterns keep repeating, even when you know better. What your type struggles with the most in relationships, and how to actually start rewiring your nervous system. So let's dive in. Before we get into the 6 types, I need you to understand this. These aren't personality traits. These are survival strategies. At some point in your life, maybe in childhood, maybe in past relationships, maybe during a traumatic moment, your nervous system learned how to keep you safe. And that strategy worked. It got you through. But here's the problem. What once kept you safe is now keeping you stuck. You can't change a pattern you can't see. So let's shine a little light on these 6 types so you can finally understand what's been running the show. All right, type 1, the Hypervigilant Protector. The Hypervigilant Protector is always scanning for danger. You're waiting for the other shoe to drop. You're hyper aware of every shift in someone's tone, their body language, their energy. You notice everything and it exhausts you. Now, this happens because your nervous system learned that if you stay alert, you can predict and prevent bad things from happening. So you became a threat detection machine. Maybe you grew up in an unpredictable environment. Maybe a past relationship blindsided you. Whatever it was, your nervous system decided, never again. I'm going to see it coming this time. I had a client who would check her partner's location on Find My Friends multiple times a day. Not because she didn't trust him, but because her nervous system couldn't relax until she knew exactly where he was. That's the Hypervigilant Protector in action. What you struggle with the most? Relaxing, trusting, letting your guard down. You can't enjoy the good moments because you're too busy scanning for what could go wrong. Even when things are good, you're waiting, watching, protecting yourself from a threat that might not even exist. If this is you, you're not alone. The Hypervigilant Protector is one of the most exhausting patterns to live with because you can truly never rest. Okay, type 2, the Shutdown Survivor. The Shutdown Survivor goes emotionally numb when things get intense. You disconnect, you dissociate, you zone out. People might say you're checked out or emotionally unavailable. And the truth is, you are, because going numb feels safer than feeling too much. At some point, feeling was too dangerous. Maybe emotions got you punished. Maybe vulnerability got you hurt. Maybe the pain was just too big to hold. So your nervous system learned to turn off the feelings to survive. And now, that's your default when things get hard. I used to do this thing where in the middle of an argument, I would just leave my body. Like, I'd still be sitting there, but I wasn't there. My partner would be like, "Where did you go?" And I didn't even realize I shut down until later. So you may struggle with staying present. You want to connect. You want to be emotionally available, but the moment things get vulnerable or intense, you disappear, even from yourself. And the worst part, you might not even notice it happening until someone points it out. This one's hard to even talk about because it feels so automatic. You don't choose to shut down, it just happens. Type 3 is the anxious pursuer. The anxious pursuer seeks constant reassurance. You overthink every text, every tone, every interaction. You're terrified of abandonment. You pursue closeness even when it pushes people away. Your nervous system learned that love is unpredictable, so you became hypervigilant about connection. Always checking, always seeking proof that you're wanted. Maybe love felt conditional growing up. Maybe someone important left without warning. Whatever it was, your nervous system decided, I need to make sure they're not going to leave. You struggle with trusting that someone will stay without you having to chase them. You exhaust yourself and sometimes them trying to feel secure. You reread texts 47 times trying to figure out what someone really meant. You need constant check-ins. You panic when someone pulls back, even just a little. And here's the cruel irony. The more you pursue, the more they pull away, which makes you pursue even harder. The anxious pursuer is probably one of the most common patterns I see. That constant need for reassurance is exhausting for everyone involved. Type 4 is the avoidant protector. The avoidant protector keeps people at arm's length. You pull away when things get too close. Independence feels safer than intimacy. You'd rather be alone than risk getting hurt. Your nervous system learned that closeness equals danger. So you built walls. Maybe vulnerability got you hurt. Maybe you saw someone you loved fall apart from heartbreak. Maybe you learned that needing people makes you weak. So you decided, I don't need anyone. I'm fine on my own. What you struggle with most is letting people see the real you. You want intimacy, at least part of you does. But the moment someone gets close, you feel suffocated and you pull away. You might ghost, you might pick fights, you might suddenly need space. And then when they're gone, you miss them. But when they come back, the walls go right back up. What you struggle with the most is not that you don't want connection. It's that your nervous system won't let you fully let someone in. All right, type 5 is the Fawn Response. The Fawn Response is the people pleaser pattern. You lose yourself trying to keep everyone happy. You say yes when you mean no. You're the peacemaker, the caretaker, the one who adapts to everyone else. Your nervous system learned that your safety depended on keeping other people calm and happy. Maybe conflict was dangerous in your home. Maybe you were punished for having needs. Maybe you learned that the only way to be loved was to be useful. So you became a chameleon, always adjusting, always accommodating, always prioritizing everyone else. What you struggle with most is knowing what you want. You spent so long prioritizing everyone else that you lost touch with your own needs, your own desires, your own boundaries. Someone asks, what do you want for dinner? And you genuinely don't know. Because you've been asking everyone else what they want for so long, you've forgotten how to tune into yourself. And here's what's wild. If you're a fawn type, you probably just said yes to something you didn't want to do today. You can't help it. It's automatic. Okay, type 6 is the healing heart. The healing heart is different. This isn't a survival pattern. It's a healing pattern. You're doing the work. You're learning to regulate your nervous system. You catch yourself in old patterns and you choose differently. You're not perfect, but you're present. This isn't about being healed. It's about being in the process of healing. You still have moments of shutdown, hypervigilance, fawning, anxiety, but now you see it. And you're learning to come back to center. You're building the ability to stay with yourself and stay with others. To feel without being consumed. To connect without losing yourself. This is the work we're all moving towards. And if you're watching this video, you're already on that path. Okay, let's pause for a second. You probably saw yourself in more than one type, and that's totally normal. Most of us have a primary type and then a backup pattern we fall into under stress. For example, you might be a shutdown survivor most of the time, but when you're really activated, you flip into the anxious pursuer mode. You're not broken, you're human. So now that you've seen these types, maybe you saw yourself in one, maybe you saw yourself in three. But here's the question everyone asks. Why do I keep doing this even when I know better? You know you shouldn't chase reassurance. You know you shouldn't shut down. You know you shouldn't people please. But you do it anyway. But here's why. Your nervous system doesn't care about logic. It cares about survival. So even when your brain knows you shouldn't do something, your body is still running old programs. Think of it like this. Your nervous system has a well-worn groove, right? It's been running this pattern for years, maybe decades. And until you rewire your nervous system itself, the pattern will keep repeating. You can read all the books. You can know all the psychology. You can understand your attachment style inside and out. But if you don't address the nervous system, the somatic, body-based level, the pattern stays. That's what my work is all about. The threshold, the nervous system foundation, rewiring these patterns at the root. How do you actually start changing this? Okay, 3 things. 1, awareness. You can't change what you can't see. If you've watched this far, you've already taken step 1. You've seen your pattern. Now, the next level of awareness is learning to catch yourself in the moment, not after the fact. Not 3 days later when you're journaling about it, but in real time. That's when the real work begins. Step 2 is regulation. When you notice yourself in your pattern, whether it's hypervigilance, shutdown, fawning, whatever, you need tools to regulate your nervous system in real time. This is where breathwork comes in. Somatic practice, nervous system mapping. Here are some of the most common regulation tools. Deep breathing, especially extended exhales. So breathe in for 4, breathe out for 6. Okay? Going for a walk. It's a bilateral movement. It calms the nervous system. Cold water on your face. It's a vagus nerve reset. Placing a hand on your heart and taking slow breaths. Shaking out your body, like literally shaking out the energy. The goal isn't to never feel activated. The goal is to learn how to come back to center when you do. This is regulation. All right, step 3 is repetition. Here's the hard truth. Your old pattern has been running for years. It's a deep groove in your nervous system. You can't change it overnight. But every time you catch yourself, regulate, and choose differently, you're creating a new groove. And over time, With practice, with repetition, with consistency, that new pattern becomes your default. It takes time. It takes patience. It takes compassion for yourself when you slip back into the old pattern. But it's possible. Your nervous system is adaptable. And that's the whole point. All right, so if you want to know your primary nervous system type and get personalized strategies for your specific pattern, I have a free quiz for you. It takes about 5 minutes and you'll get your results immediately. The link is in the description below this video. Take the quiz, see what comes up, and then come back and let me know in the comments what your type is. I read every comment, and I'd love to hear what resonated with you. Here's what I want you to remember. Your pattern isn't a flaw. It's a survival strategy that worked once upon a time. But if it's keeping you stuck now, it's time to rewire. And you can. Your nervous system is adaptable. You just need the right tools and the right support. So take the quiz, start paying attention to your patterns, and know that this work, this deep nervous system level work, is what actually creates lasting change. Not just understanding your patterns, not just knowing your attachment style, but rewiring your body's response at the root. That's the work I do. That's what the inner sanctuary is all about. And that's what I'm here to help you with. If this video helped you, give it a thumbs up, drop a comment with your type, and subscribe for more nervous system relationship content. Thanks for being here. This work matters. You matter. I'll see you in the next one.